So, today we're diving into one of the most incredible stories of all time, the story of Joseph. It's this powerful narrative about how the deepest, most painful betrayal can somehow be turned into an unbelievable blessing, showing that there's a plan at work that's so much bigger than our own. Let's get into it. And this really gets to the heart of it all. It begs the question, right? Can the absolute worst things people do, actions that come from pure jealousy and hate, actually pave the way for the greatest possible good? That question is really the engine of Joseph's entire journey, so keep it in the back of your mind as we go.
All right, so our story kicks off with a young guy named Joseph. He's known as the dreamer, but his dreams and his, let's say, special status in his family are about to put him on a seriously dangerous path.
So, let's paint a picture here. Joseph is 17, and he is without a doubt his father Jacob's favorite son. And Jacob isn't subtle about it either. He gives Joseph this amazing multicolored coat, a flashy symbol for everyone to see just how special he is. And, to top it all off, Joseph starts having these wild, prophetic dreams where his entire family, his older brothers included, are all bowing down to him. And, he doesn't exactly keep these dreams to himself.
Yeah, so you can probably guess this did not go over well. The coat, the dreams, it all just lit this fire of pure resentment in his brothers. The source material is crystal clear. They felt nothing but intense jealousy and hatred for him. It was a powder keg, just waiting for a match.
And that match gets lit, kicking off the darkest chapter of Joseph's young life. This is where his brother's jealousy just boils over into an act of betrayal that shatters his world and sends him spiraling down into total despair.
I mean, look how fast his life just falls apart. First, his own brothers plot to kill him, literally throwing him in a pit and leaving him for dead. Then they decide, hey, why not make a profit and sell him as a slave to some traders heading to Egypt. Once he gets there, he's sold again to Potiphar, a high-ranking official. And just when it looks like he might be getting back on his feet, he's falsely accused by Potiphar's wife and gets tossed into prison for a crime he absolutely did not commit. From the favorite son to a forgotten prisoner. Just like that.
But this is where the story takes an unbelievable turn. From the absolute lowest point you can imagine, a dark prison in a foreign country, an incredible comeback story begins to unfold.
And here's the key. Even in that prison, the story makes it clear that God was still with Joseph. He wasn't alone. And because of this, he was able to show such incredible character and skill that he earned the total trust of the warden. He was practically running the prison himself.
So this kicks off this totally wild chain of events. While he's in jail, Joseph interprets dreams for two of Pharaoh's servants. Fast forward a couple of years, now Pharaoh himself is having these terrifying dreams that none of his wise men can figure out. Suddenly, the cupbearer remembers, wait a minute, there was that Hebrew guy in the dungeon. So Joseph is yanked out of his cell, brought before Pharaoh, and nails the interpretation. A huge famine is coming. And he doesn't just interpret it, he lays out a brilliant plan to save the whole country. Pharaoh is so blown away that he promotes Joseph from prisoner to the second most powerful man in all of Egypt.
For 7 straight years, during the time of plenty, Joseph's plan worked perfectly. He brilliantly organized the whole nation to gather and store up massive amounts of grain, getting the most powerful country in the world ready for the 7 years of devastating famine that he knew was coming. And all of this preparation, it sets the stage for the story's epic climax. The famine gets so bad that it forces a desperate family to travel all the way from Canaan to Egypt for food, leading to this dramatic showdown where the powerful governor comes face to face with the very men who sold him into slavery.
And here it is, the moment of truth. The famine is brutal, and it pushes Joseph's brothers to go to Egypt, desperate for food. They're brought before this mighty Egyptian ruler, and they bow down low, begging for help. They have absolutely no idea that they're bowing to the little brother they left for dead all those years ago. His childhood dream is coming true in the most unbelievable, ironic way you could imagine.
After putting them through a series of tests to see if they've changed, he just can't hold it in anymore. He reveals who he is. Can you just imagine the sheer terror they must have felt hearing those words? The powerless kid they sold is now the one man who holds their entire lives in his hands. But instead of the revenge they were no doubt expecting, Joseph does something absolutely stunning. He offers this incredible act of grace. He tells his terrified brothers, "Don't be angry with yourselves." He explains that all of it was God's plan. God sent him to Egypt ahead of them for this exact purpose, so he could be in a position to save their family from starving to death.
Okay, so let's just zoom out for a second and look at the huge takeaway from this whole story. This isn't just about one man's amazing life, it's a massive lesson in perspective and purpose.
This one sentence is the key that unlocks the meaning of the entire story. Years later, when their father dies, the brothers get scared all over again, thinking, okay, now he's really going to get us. But Joseph reassures them with this timeless statement. It perfectly captures the two opposing forces at work, human evil and God's sovereign plan.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? This stark contrast. His brother's intention, it was pure destruction, born from jealousy. But there was a much higher intention working behind the scenes, weaving even their evil act into a huge tapestry of salvation. Their plan was to destroy one life. God's plan was to save many.
So what do we learn from this? Well, there are a couple of massive lessons here. First, God's plan can't be stopped. He can use even the worst things people do to bring about something good. And second, this is like a blueprint for radical forgiveness. Because Joseph was able to see the bigger picture, to see purpose even in his own suffering, he could respond with incredible grace instead of revenge.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Joseph's story proves that forgiveness isn't about pretending a bad thing wasn't bad. It's about trusting that a greater good can come out of that pain. It makes you ask, what betrayals are we still holding on to? And what good might be waiting to be unleashed if we could just find a different perspective? So, who in your life might need a forgiveness that they absolutely do not expect?